Hey there, I'm Bobby Casey. So, you're thinking about starting an LLC in Washington, D.C., but maybe you're not totally sure where to start, what the steps are, or what little landmines might slow you down? Don't worry. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through everything you need to know to form your DC LLC the right way. No fluff, no legal headaches. And definitely stick around until the end, because there's a super common mistake DC founders make that can cost you money and honestly, a lot of unnecessary stress. Real quick, if you're new here, I'm the founder of BusinessAnywhere. I've helped thousands of entrepreneurs, remote founders, expats, digital nomads, you name it, set up US companies 100% online. So yeah, I've seen just about everything that can go wrong during formation, and more importantly, how to avoid it. All right, let's get into it. Why DC? So first, let's talk about why you might choose Washington, D.C. It's one of those places that just sounds credible on paper, right? And it actually is. DC has this very professional business environment. Tons of agencies, major corporations, contractors, and high-quality infrastructure. If you're looking to work with bigger clients or even government clients eventually, having a DC LLC can give you a nice bump in legitimacy. Plus, DC's LLC laws are modern and offer strong asset protection, and you still get the tax benefits of pass-through taxation. It's basically a big city, high-credibility jurisdiction with a pretty straightforward filing process. Before we get too deep, costs and timeline. Let me give you the quick lay of the land so you know what you're dealing with. Your articles of organization cost $99 to file. There's a biennial report every 2 years. That one's $300. And you'll need a business license, usually somewhere between $200 and $500, depending on what you do. Timeline-wise, if you file online, you're usually looking at about 3 to 5 business days. Mail filing is slow, like 4 to 6 weeks. All right, with that out of the way, let's talk about actually forming this thing. Naming your LLC. So, naming your LLC, this part seems simple, but people still get tripped up. In DC, your LLC name has to include something like LLC, LLC, Limited Liability Company, or LC. And it has to be different from any business already registered in DC. So you'll want to hop into the DC business database and do a quick search. Don't fall in love with a name until you know it's available. Also, if you're like, man, I found the perfect name, but I'm not totally ready to file, you can actually reserve it for 120 days for about $50. Oh, and one more thing, and avoid restricted terms like bank, insurance, or anything government related unless you have special approval. Your registered agent. Next up, you're going to need a registered agent. And look, every state requires this, but DC is pretty strict. Your registered agent needs a physical address in DC, and they have to be available during normal business hours. So, no P.O. boxes and no my buddy will check the mail for me situations. Now, if you live in DC, technically you can be your own agent. But keep in mind, your address becomes public, and you've got to be there Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. Most people don't love that part. That's why a lot of founders, especially remote founders, go with a professional registered agent service. Helps with privacy, helps with compliance, helps you not miss something important. Filing your articles of organization. All right, here's the big moment. Filing the articles of organization. This is what actually creates your LLC. You'll file with the DC Department of Licensing and Consumer Protection, or DLCP. If you've never used their website, it's not awful, but it's not winning any design awards anytime soon either. Here's what you'll need. Your official LLC name, your principal office address, this can be out of state, that's fine, your DC registered agent information, whether you're member managed or manager managed, and a short business purpose. It's $99 to file online and usually takes a few days for approval. Mailing it in, let's not do that unless you really love waiting. Getting your EIN. Once your LLC is official, you'll want to jump over to the IRS website to grab your EIN, your employer identification number. It's free. It's fast, and you absolutely need it for things like opening a U.S. business bank account, filing taxes, hiring employees, working with certain payment processors. Just make sure the name you enter matches your DC paperwork exactly. Tiny mismatches, even punctuation, can cause delays. Registering for DC. Taxes. Now this is where DC is a little different. You'll need to register with the Office of Tax and Revenue through the MyTax DC portal. A couple things to keep on your radar. There's the Unincorporated Business Franchise Tax for LLCs. It's 8.25% of your net income, minimum $250 if you have $1 million or less in receipts. If you sell products or taxable services, you'll need to handle sales tax. DC's sales tax rate is 6%. And if you cross $100,000 in sales or have 200 plus transactions into DC, you hit what's called economic nexus. This is one of those areas where doing it right early saves you a lot of pain later. Business license time. All right, almost there. Every DC LLC needs a basic business license, a BBL. You apply through the My DC Business Center. Depending on your business type, it usually runs $200 to $500. And you'll need your EIN, your tax registration, something called a clean hands certificate, basically confirming you don't owe DC more than $100, and possibly a certificate of occupancy or home occupation permit if you're working from home. Approval usually takes around a week. If you're in a regulated profession like law or healthcare, you might need extra licensing too. Operating agreement, plus staying compliant. Okay, last major piece, your operating agreement. DC doesn't legally require one, but trust me, you want one. It spells out ownership, responsibilities, profit splits, what happens if someone leaves, all the fun drama we hope never happens, and then compliance. DC requires a biennial report every 2 years, $300 due on April 1st of even-numbered years. Miss it, and yeah, there are penalties. Your business license also renews every 2 years, and you'll need to keep up with taxes and any changes to your registered agent or business address. The big mistake to avoid. All right, here's that pro tip I mentioned at the start. Don't mix your personal and business finances. DC is very particular about this. If you blur the line between personal spending and business spending, you risk losing your liability protection. And that's literally the whole point of an LLC. Get a proper U.S. business bank account. Use your EIN. Keep everything separate and make sure you're using a real U.S. business address, not a friend's house or something creative. But here's the easy button. At BusinessAnywhere, we'll handle your DC LLC formation for free. You just pay the required government fees. We include your first year of registered agent service, help with your EIN, and even send compliance reminders so you don't miss anything. If you want to get started, just hit the link in the description. Now, I want to hear from you. Are you thinking about forming in Washington, D.C., or are you comparing a few states? Drop a comment and let me know what you're working on. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.